Hello. With some encouragement, I've decided to tell the story that was mentioned recently on one certain Yuri Voice's Twitter, the one about the fella with the fat dumpy who grinded on you that one time. When he asked me to tell it again in our team meeting of all times, it was more of a Cliff Notes version because it's been some time and my memory was a bit hazy. But since the statute of limitations has now expired, I went back in time and I combed through my receipts surrounding this event for a more clear story. So, fuck it, I guess. Here we go. Once upon a time, I used to lead a team of software developers in another state, and I would pretty frequently travel there for business. There are actually various tales that I could tell about my time at this company and the business travel involved, but I will save those for another day. But needless to say, it was an interesting time in my life when I was working for this undisclosed company. The star of this particular story, who I will refer to as Short King, also led a team of software developers, and he was my peer. Our teams frequently collaborated on projects, and he and I got along very well as we had a similar sense of humor and interests. And yeah, it was very nice. There was some mutual flirtation as well prior to what we'll call the lap dance incident of 2018. So anyway, every quarter, our teams would present new software and enhancements to the executives in our company, after which there was always a corporate sponsored after party for all the dev teams. The official after party the night of the incident was bowling at a fancy event center, think like a swanky Dave and Buster's. Nothing really gets your heart pumping than throwing some large balls around, I say. I I was living my best life between picking ridiculous names along with my coworkers to show on the screen, when you get a strike and whatnot. I think mine was the moist one or something like that. And considering Short King wears pants that are form-fitting around the thighs and bowls like he's got something to prove, I was looking respectfully. We'll just put it like that. The individuals at this event also consumed suckers with scorpions inside them, including myself and the Short King, which I know is a weird flex, but that's just to say that a number of folks were feeling rather feisty that night. And why scorpion suckers? My coworkers from Arizona brought them. I don't know, man. I don't know. Scorpion suckers. I digress. A large group of us decided that we craved an after party, but also the company was no longer paying for the overpriced drinks, and lurking around a rich man's arcade was not the vibe. So as a pack, we meandered down the street to a dive bar where there was karaoke going on. I'll set the stage. At the back of this narrow establishment was a bachelorette party that was bringing down the house with every Beyoncé song under the sun. Just ridiculous raw talent across the board. And at one point, they even goaded this lone silver fox into singing Ludacris's Roll Out. And without batting an eye, not only did this day trading looking daddy slay it, and I have a feeling he slayed that night too, based on the reactions he got. Legend shit. The drinks were cheap, the bar food fried to perfection, and this is all to say that the vibes were immaculate. At some point, Short King and I danced together to another coworker's rendition of Tutti Frutti. We also sang some songs ourselves, and we were having a great time, and affections were flowing freely, I suppose. Our party was seated in a group of tables and booths, and as I wanted to talk with people on either side, I seated myself in a chair in the aisle between. And this action was the beginning of my downfall. While another coworker was singing some sort of thoughty ballad, I don't actually remember which song it was specifically, so we'll just say it was Pony by Genuine because that feels appropriate for what happened next. The sturdy hero of our story spotted me in this chair from a couple tables over, and he looked at me with this shit-eating grin, which should have tipped me off, and then proceeded to dance towards me down this narrow aisle, Christopher Walken in Weapon of Choice style if it was extra horny. And when he reached me, he straddled my thighs and plopped pretty much his entire weight into my lap. And I mean, it happened so fast. It was like he warped into the cradle of my hips. With the added chaos of the bachelorette party losing their damn minds over this white boy with a fat dumpy dancing for filth on me in the middle of this dive bar in front of the gods and everyone and my coworkers, many of who were my subordinates, laughing and cheering, I received easily in my top 5 greatest lap dances of all time. During this manager on manager entanglement, my arms were sort of just out to the side. My hands were just kind of floundering in the air because my gremlin brain hadn't fully caught up to what was happening, and 404 just completely just dial up modem sounds, brain static, whatever you want to call it. Now, normally when it comes to situations of this nature, I'm not typically flustered to the extent that I was. But this was truly a tactical strike. Once my brain did catch up a little bit, I thanked all the gods that the bar was shrouded in darkness because his turgid interest made itself known against me. And I'm grateful that I think I'm the only one that perceived his girth and ardor because it was dark, and I don't think anyone caught him completely in 4K besides me. So that was good. At the end of the song, I worked up enough courage to place my hands on his supple supple's a good word, supple hips to steady him, to help him up, and he walked away with the confident swagger of a man who knew he had rocked my reality very thoroughly. So I promptly excused myself to the bathroom, not to relieve myself in any way, but to send panicked text messages along the lines of, "You cannot believe what just happened, but also I want to act up, but I know I shouldn't. Please tell me not to." The latter of which was predictably responded to with enablement instead of discouragement, given the parties I consulted, chiefly Yuri, who not only craves tea, but violence against my psyche. To be fair, I recently had exited a marriage that had gone toxic, and he had the best intentions for my happiness. Bless him. Anyway, as the party was winding down, our king did low-key ask me for an after party for 2 at my hotel, and with all the self-control I could muster, I did gently decline due to having to be up very early the next day, but those who know me know my sleep is very disordered, and this is actually a pretty weak excuse. The primary reason is that I tried to maintain a don't shit where you eat policy regarding liaisons with coworkers. I don't really like playing patty cake with someone and then things potentially seep into the workplace environment. In short, I'm not a fan of complications. Not long after this, I submitted my resignation to move on to another company, but not before one final business trip wherein I was in a conference room with a glass wall, sitting with another coworker during my lunch. And lo and behold, Short King walked by, saw me, and gave me a very saucy wink, which my coworker did catch in 4K, and he dryly responded with, "Well, that was spicy." If you want to hear more tales from the archive, let me know. This one's pretty tame.